What we're going to do here is a very quick flyby of the subject of food blogging. This is not a course on how to start a food blog. It's not a course on how to grow your food blog or make it successful. It's just a quick introduction to show you what food blogging is all about and how, if you really have the commitment and the determination, you can use your food photographs to grow a food blog. We'll talk about what food blogging is exactly. We'll talk about the advantages of food blogging and why you may want to invest your time and your effort into starting a food blog. We'll talk about what it takes to be a successful food blogger. And finally, we'll go over the 4 steps that I've used to help myself become a better food blogger and get more recognition for my work. So the other day I was at jury duty, and they asked me what I did for a living, and I told them I was a food blogger, and they all said, "Oh, so that means you get to go to restaurants and eat for free." And I realized I probably need a better title for myself, like maybe recipe developer or something, so that people really understand, because there are a lot of people who don't know what food blogging is exactly, but it's basically just blogging or writing posts around the subject of food. Mostly, this involves creating and sharing recipes alongside text and pictures. Most food bloggers, especially the successful ones, will write a post that introduces a subject, they'll take some gorgeous pictures, and they'll actually make a new recipe and share it with their audience. That provides tons of value, people love it, and it's the most effective way to be a food blogger, and that's what most people do. But you can also include things like restaurant reviews, food travel, and product reviews related to food as well. That would all fall within the category of food blogging, but again, it's mostly about creating and sharing recipes and beautiful pictures. Now, all of this is a lot of work. Why would anyone in their right mind want to start a food blog and invest tons of time and effort and money and food into developing this kind of a business? And on the most casual level, it's a nice organized way to share your food. It's much more organized and controlled than social media. You own it, you own the format, you own the content, you can drive people there, you own the domain name, and it's really yours rather than Instagram's or Pinterest. So it's nice to have that kind of a platform where you can share your own content in your own format and have complete control. It's also a great way to build an audience. You can do this on social media, but when you have that centralized hub of a website and social media, you can build a much bigger audience and have a much bigger impact. And it can really be a good way of making money. There's many full-time food bloggers who make a very good living sharing their recipes with people. And blogging can be a great profession because most of the income is passive in the sense that you have to do a lot of hard work, but how and when you do your work is up to you, and the money comes from passive sources. It comes from the advertising or products you create or other revenue sources that are related to your business rather than simply how many hours you're working. So in that sense, blogging is a wonderful way to make money, but it is very difficult. It takes a lot to be a food blogger. You can be very successful, but it takes a lot of grit and hard work. I would say that the 4 things a food blogger really needs to have within themselves before they can start a project like this is first a unique voice. If you're only going to be repeating what other people have done and making recipes that are similar to what everyone else is making, then there really is no space for you. It's already so crowded that it's hard to break through the noise, and without a unique voice, you're going to be drowned out. It also takes a ton of hard work, day after day after day, the commitment, which is the 3rd thing, to just producing amazing content over and over again. It also requires a lot of patience because you're not going to be very successful from day 1 or day 2 or even day 30 or 60. It takes that kind of commitment and the patience to stick it out over time and keep producing content until you get noticed and until you get lucky. Just last month, I wrote a kind of day in the life post on my blog about what my life is like as a food blogger. It's called On Passion, Hard Work, and Becoming a Pro Food Blogger. And you can find this at the link mentioned here, oneingredientchef.com, pro food blogger. And that explains a lot about the amount of work that goes into running One Ingredient Chef. And I'm sure it's exactly the same for every other food blogger. I want to briefly go over the 4 things that have been kind of helpful for me as I've grown my food blog. I know a lot of you are food bloggers or would like to be, so these are the 4 things that I would focus on most. First, produce great content. This is where it starts and ends with blogging because it's all about the content you're sharing. If you're not sharing content, you're not a blogger. So share great content, and the points that I have for this are take great pictures, write great content, be creative, be prolific, and again, have a unique voice. If you aren't sharing something that's unique, then no one will pay attention to you. There's already too much noise. So you simply must break through the noise by having something unique to say. Wow people with your content, and you'll be so far ahead of the game. Second is use social media. Social media is really well designed to help a food blog succeed. Blogging is a hard profession because there's so much noise and so much competition. But with food blogs in particular, since they're so focused on pictures, social media is designed to help you succeed if you have the chops and if you're doing great work. So we won't go over this again here because we already talked about social tips before. But what I will say is share your content on social media, obviously, but give more than you're getting. So share a little bit, but give a lot. In other words, respond to people, like their pictures, leave comments, talk to them, give them +1s, pin other people's content, and really interact with the community and add more value than you're taking out of it, and it will take care of you forever. That's the way to use social media correctly, is to give more than you're getting. Third, use the food porn sites, and these are the sites like Food Gawker, Taste Spotting, Finding Vegan, Healthy Aperture, and Feasty. Those are the ones I submit my pictures to. We've talked about Food Gawker a number of times, and when I submit one of my pictures and they get accepted, it provides a link back to my site, and the tens or hundreds of thousands of people who view Food Gawker every day see my picture, click on the link, and go to my site. So it can drive hundreds of visitors to my site from that one link. It's hard to get published in these. You have to have amazing pictures. But hey, you know how to take amazing pictures now. So your odds of getting your content published on these pages are much, much higher now because you've gone through this course. And these are a huge resource in helping a new food blog grow. To publish one of your articles here and get hundreds of visitors back to your site is a big deal for a new blog. And that can make a really big difference in how successful you are and how much notoriety you get at first. So take great pictures and then submit them to these sites according to the instructions they have on their website. It can be a huge boost for new food blogs. I know it has been for mine. Fourth is to connect with a community. Your blog isn't out there on an island by itself. It's an integral part of the community of food bloggers at large. So interact on social media, as we talked about, with other bloggers. Also leave comments on other blogs. When you go to another blog that's similar to yours and you leave a comment that's insightful and valuable, you can also have a link back to your website on that comment. So not only does the other blogger see you and begin to take notice, but all of their readers see your comment and your website as well. And that's a great way to get more links, to get more traffic, and to build more recognition, but it's really all about interacting. Again, it's about giving more than you get. You can also talk to other bloggers in your industry and be of value to other people in your niche. So whatever type of food or content you're creating, find other people on the internet and in real life and connect with them. Provide value, go to meetups, and get involved in whatever ways you can with your community. That's hugely important for a blogger. So again, this was just a very quick flyby of food blogging. I just want you to have a good conceptual understanding of what food blogging is, what it could potentially require, and how you could possibly succeed with a food blog if you're willing to make that commitment. If this is something you are interested in, you can talk to me personally about it, and I'd be happy to give you some pointers on how to get started. Otherwise, this was just a very brief introduction to the whole concept of food blogging and how integral food photography is within the food blogging community. Because good food photos are 90% of the battle when it comes to starting a good food blog. If food blogging does not interest you and it's not something you'd like to do, then there is no homework for this lesson. If it is potentially something you would like to do, I think the most important part is determining what your concept is going to be and how it's unique and different. So if this interests you, take some time, days or even weeks if needed, to determine how your blog is going to add value to the community. How are you different from all the other blogs that are similar to yours? If you can find a unique voice and combine that with the photography skills you've learned in this course, that's the winning recipe. So the most important first step is to understand how you're going to add unique value to the food blogging community. So that's your homework if you're interested, is to take the time to figure out and then write down how your blog will be distinct and different and how it will provide